internships. Internships, as I mentioned earlier, in a good resume is really important. So why are internships beneficial for you as graduates or people looking for new employment? Experience. So I talked a lot about that earlier as well. Experience is, and enriching of that experience cannot replace anything. To bring different type of industry and exposure to different type of organizations, those are experience that money can't buy. And those are the things that is going to really give you that leg up or that difference when you apply for a role. I see sometimes when I talk to our interns or our graduates that join our organization, and what they really say to us that they found really enriching working for BSI is the opportunities to gain that experience. BSI is a different sort of organization. We're global, we're a matrix business. And for a lot of the students that join us, this is the first time they've ever worked in a professional environment, let alone working for an international organization. So my biggest advice is do not be afraid and go out and try to, interact and work with as many organizations as possible. And that's, I suppose, one of the greatest benefits of working in an internship. Exposure to working environment, I think, is something that people also forget. When you work or join an internship program, you're actually part of a community within that business. I know definitely for myself, when we welcome interns into our organization, they are literally considered as an employee of our business. So you are integrating into a culture of this organization. So when we have team events, when we do some training, onboarding, they get to experience what it's like to actually work for that particular organization, even though that they are there for a very short period of time. So when you work and have that exposure to the different work environments and culture, when you apply for a role in the future, you can adapt those skills to that particular business, which will give you another benefit when you're looking for employment or a job down the line. Another benefit to internships is definitely building networks. So graduates and, this day and age with social media, LinkedIn, you might think it's really great and easy to connect with people. But when you're actually looking for a new job and the first time you're stepping into, the industry, it can be very daunting and very challenging. So internship is a really good way to actually introduce you to, how to build network, how do you, build relationships with stakeholders, and then opportunities down the line, what are some new skills that they can help you and actually help your development as well. So using that relationship, you can actually start to, talk to them and build a community. One of the really great examples I can share is just, last week we've had an intern come back to us to thank us for the internship program and that they've actually now, successfully acquired an employment, for an organization. And a lot of that is due to the coaching and mentoring of the line manager that they had while working with us as an internship. So that network and that mentorship with that particular line manager would not have happened if they did not participate in an internship program. So while you're studying at the same time, you might think, okay, I'm going to be focusing a lot only on my studies. You can combine study with an internship, and that is actually going to enrich and help better your education. So bringing real life experience of working in an organization and taking that into your everyday studies will actually help you gain a better understanding of what you're doing. So I think, participating in that internship will really actually be a very good partnership to your enriching your development of your courses, as well as your future development as well. I know a lot of our interns who join us sometimes actually end up working for us in a year's time because we remember them, contributing towards our business during their internship program. And, 6 months down the line, we may have an opportunity or a vacancy in our business. And we remember, hey, they were fantastic. Why do we not bring them back on? They understand our business. They understand what we've been doing. And I can tell you, that is definitely about a 30% opportunities for us as a graduate program recruitment strategy that we have as well. So really think about, internships as not just experience, which is, I think, is fantastic, but it's a combination of supporting your studies and also your future development. So you might have some questions about, well, what do I do and how do I actually go about getting an internship? Even if that's what I would like to do, I'm not sure where to start. So step one, I think today is a good opportunity for you to learn about internships, which is fantastic. And step two is having a look at, what are some providers are available, in the market today that actually will help you achieve what you want to get out of an internship. So internship providers, I think, are a very good step to actually have a look. University programs. So sometimes as part of your university degree, there may be an element of support by your university to help you gain an internship with organisations. And research. Nothing stops you from looking into, the global business or businesses in Australia and see what are some of the companies that you would love to work with. And be brave and, have your aspirational goals. Is it Google? Is it Facebook? Who is your ideal employer? Do the research and actually approach them. Send them an email, write them a letter to say that you would love to work with them, you would love to gain some experience, and would they have an internship program in place? And how can you actually get on their internship program? So do that research and be that brave person that you want for your career and take your future into your own hands. And I can tell you that's going to be very, very successful. And even if there is no internship gained through that particular communication with those organisations, you will put yourself up in a very positive light in the future if there are any roles that come up in that organisation. And I can tell you that is very much true for us at BSI. Join societies and communities. So what I mean by that is, again, building your network and ensuring that you are tapping into different opportunities. You never know where an internship may come up, and talk to your people. If you're part of a social club or you're part of a sporting team, those are great opportunities because you're talking to different people who may work for different companies or who may be participating in different organizations. Let them know that you're open to participating in an internship and you have some aspirations or goals in what you want to do, and you might be surprised on the reward and the successes that you may gain by doing that. One of the other things, I suppose, we already covered a lot about, what is internship and how is that good, for me. But you need to also understand that you want to pick the right company you want to work for if you want to move into an internship. If you are wanting to gain experience in finance or in accounting, working for a hospitality business may not be a great fit for what you want to do. So really actually, as I said earlier, looking at the research and actually knowing what's a really good company that you want to work for and how that they can help your career is really important. So the career fit, or actually picking the company that you want to do and work and potentially put into your CV as experience is very, very important. The scale and exposure of the organisation is important too. So I know a lot of our graduates that join our organisation, select to work with us is because of the international exposure and the opportunities to actually tap into the different systems that we have for a global business. When you work or attend an internship for a smaller business, you may not get the same sort of interactions or exposure that you may get working for a global business. So that is something to also think about. The culture of the business you might think is not important, but I think it definitely is. Different businesses have very different environments, and different businesses may have a very different commitment or mantra to how they run their culture. Is it a multicultural organisation? Do they embrace and would like to have the commitment to actually spend the time with you, joining them as an intern? Those are all really important questions to ask when you think about, is that company good for my career? And also think about, will there be opportunities down the line for you if you work for that business, in the future? So as I said, one of the key reasons why we also host internships is not just to give experience to graduates, it's also really fantastic for us as a brand to see whether or not in the future we can attract those graduates to work for us in our business. So that, think about that because, while you're gaining experience, we are also enriching and giving back, but we are seeing you as a potential candidate or a potential employee for our business down the future. So career development, like I said, is definitely something that you can think about. So be brave and think about, what are those companies, and be, really strong and committed to yourself. Is that company going to be good for me and for my experience and for my career in the future?